Hello, friends. I'm happy to come your way this evening. Today, on our motivational segment, we are going to look at a very interesting quote that is become who you are. Now, become who you are is a quote I picked from one of a favorite philosopher's book, and this person is no other person than Friedrich Nietzsche. Now, when we say Friedrich Nietzsche, who was he? Friedrich Nietzsche was a German philosopher, a cultural critic, a composer, a poet, a writer, and a philologist. His work has profound influence on modern intellectual history today. During his time, at a very tender age, he was made a chair at a classical philologist at the University of Basel in 1869. That tells you who that person or who this person really was, and is still to us today. I took this famous quote from one of his books, Become Who You Are. Now, I am not picking the quote to talk about this wonderful person, but I'm picking the quote to relate to our everyday activities. Now, even with Friedrich Nietzsche, in his book, he made analogy to something, and he first said, to become who you are is not to discover who that you truly was. And it is also not about trying to separate the self from everything else. It means you have to blend the two. He was a German philosopher, and I believe that a lot of people do not see eye to eye with some philosophical findings. But I believe that he had a lot of wonderful explanation to the fact that you have to become who you truly are. Well, I also gathered some few points in order to talk about to become who you truly are. Now, in short, Friedrich Nietzsche wanted to tell us that as much as we want to become who we truly are, we must not go far from the truth of the reality. Now, the reality around us is so paramount for us to become who we truly are. And I really believe in that. I really sides with him on that aspect. Now, for me to talk about become who you are, I have come out with 3 points that will clearly talk about become who you are. Now, my first point is that we must feel free as people to experiment other avenues, especially in terms of career paths. Now, how do we experience other avenues? Sometimes because of working in a particular field for a very long time, we tend to come to terms with the fact that that is it, and that is what we are meant to do for life. But sometimes we may have in us some inbuilt capabilities that we need to explore. Please, if you can do that alongside your career, why not? Exploit that avenue. Sometimes we may want to also venture in other areas of activities that, for all you know, if we give it a try, it's going to really boost our financial incomes. So I think that we should give it a try. Let us come out of that rigid zone of that one style driven type of job and exploit other areas. For all you know, your breakthrough will come from that area. 2, Let us also learn to relate well with people around us. And let us, as much as relating well, let us also volunteer in helping others. I actually made this a point because I have come to realize, maybe I may not be totally right, but I have come to realize that sometimes people tend not to open up to people that they do not know. But I think that life is all about sharing. Life is all about helping others if you can. Life is all about putting a smile on people's faces, especially people that need our help a lot. And so, as people, let us volunteer to help others. Sometimes we may help people that do not even have the means to repay us back, but let us do that. In doing that, for all you know, you may be opening other job opportunities somewhere for you, because if you do it and you do it well, if there is a job line in connection to that skills, people will recommend you, and it will be a boost for you. And sometimes too, it may not be a job opening avenues, but then volunteering to help others make you feel so good about yourself, and people take pride in helping others because they deem it the privilege to help people. You become so self-satisfied that you are able to be a help to someone who desperately needed the help. And so please, let us open up. It's not everything that we need to be repaid for. Let us open up to people that may need our help. Let us be forthcoming in trying to help people. It is not only people around us that we need to open up to. Some people are naturally, excuse my language, so mean that they do not even want to consider people that they don't know at all. Even people they know, they find it so hard to help, let alone people that they do not know. Please, when you try helping others, indirectly you are becoming who you truly are. Because that is who you are. You are a good person. That is who you are. You are so sympathetic. You sympathize and empathize with people. You need to exploit that aspect of you also. So it is not all the time that you are going to get great rewards or great benefits from it, but the self satisfaction that you get from helping people is also too great that we must also exploit that avenue as well. Let us open up. Life is all about helping. Life is all about making others to feel comfortable, putting smiles on other people that really need help. Let us try to stretch forth our hands to people that will desperately need our help. Because after all, if not for anything at all, that is a work of God you may be doing to somebody unknowingly. So please, let us also stretch forth our hands to help people. And my last point is, let us try as much as possible to take responsibilities for our own actions, and let us also not forget to take good care of our bodies. Now, taking responsibility of our own actions require a great effort from us as people to do that, especially when we are of a status. Now you realize that in a situation where you were a figurehead and you are expected to give a presentation and it went bad, you try to apportion blames at your subordinate because probably you designated roles to them and one did not do his or her role effectively, and that landed you into bad work. Please accept the blame. Accept the blame and pick from where you made a mistake. Analyze things that went wrong and pick from there, so that next time you put up a best or a better performance. I believe that it is about time we learn to take responsibilities of our own actions and stop apportioning blames at people. There are some people, when their life do not go a particular lane that they wanted it to go, they try to blame it on family members, they try to blame it on spouses, they try to blame it on colleagues, they try to blame it on all sorts of things. Please, this is about time for us to stop all that. Analyze things. Be frank to yourself. Self-examine where you went wrong. Begin to analyze things and put things in perspective, so that next time you may not repeat the same mistakes again. Please let us learn to approach. Let us learn to accept mistakes and correct it from where we made the mistakes, and then we pick our lives from there and we start moving to greater height. And also, let us try as much as possible to have good health. Having good health is what? Taking good care of our bodies. I don't think that anybody will want to be successful tomorrow and end up having struggled so hard to be successful, end up with the illness that he or she wouldn't have the chance or even the strength to take care of, and the strength to enjoy the wealth or the benefits of his or her struggles. I don't think so. We all desire to have, above all things, good health and live long to enjoy our hard work. And so please, as much as we are working hard, as much as we are putting this point in perspective, let us also learn to not neglect our bodies, because sometimes we put a blind eye on them. Sometimes the things we need to do to stay active, to stay fit, we neglect them, and at the end of the day it becomes a problem. And of course, if you ask me, I'll still recommend recreational activities as usual. Read, take a book, read something, of course, do some activities, exercising, anything that will help the body to stay in shape, anything that will help the body to stay fit. You need a body to carry you to enjoy your successes. You need a body to carry you to really get to that goal of becoming who you truly are. And so, friends, do not neglect your bodies. Okay, to recap on my point, I said first, we must feel free to experiment other avenues of work. Other career path is so important. Second, we must also try to help others. As much as we try to help others, let us also learn to relate very well with people. Please, let us learn to relate well with people, because of course we cannot live in isolation. Nobody can be a loner in this earth. We all need each other to move on, and everything is tied to relationship. Hello, relationship in terms of colleagues, relationship in terms of family, relationship in terms of friendship, relationship in terms of romantic interest. So let us also relate well with people. And last but not the least point I raised for us to set up on the path of becoming who you truly are is that we must also learn to be responsible. We must also take responsibility of our own actions. And of course, we must, above all things, not forget to take good care of our bodies. I believe that this is of this little point, or this few points I've raised, will be of greater help to change and then to help us to become who we truly are. Love ya all. See you next time, same time. Bye bye, friends. Take care.